So last I left you, the mighty Tring were about to take on the mighty Hartford, and I wasn't playing in the big game with over 200 people watching. I was a bit further on, and that was in a game which I don't really want to talk about. Luckily there wasn't much footage of this game due to the fact that it was filmed by one of our subs who ended up drawing the short straw and having to video it for us. However, we did catch a bit where their 9 sends me to WH Smith, and a bit where I try and take on one of my mates who I used to play with at Wimbledon on the outside, even though I know for a fact he is quicker than me, because why not? And also this bit where Dudson isn't happy with me for not passing to him. Then we ended up getting smashed about 28-5, so that was fun. But in the other game, things were a bit more exciting. So this game is happening and it's intense. There's big hits and just that bit more niggle that lets you know it's a derby, and Tring started better, going 2 scores ahead, which was a bit of a shock, but then Hartford get 2 scores back, and it's a properly competitive game. And then Tring get another score after half time, and then another one. But Hartford get one right back as my game finishes and the second team boys join to watch the first team thinking, it's okay, we can do this, there's only like 5 minutes left. We got this. But in the last minute we just need to keep the ball until the clock goes out, but they win a scrum against the head and then they go through the phases and they score in the last minute to win the game. Now the boys were pretty upset about this loss, not only because we lost against our biggest rival, but because we were undefeated and this was the first time we'd lost this season. So we had to regroup, not only because we lost, but because we had a lot of injuries as well, and we were about to face another big team next week in the form of Dorking. Dorking! It has many outstanding features, like on the way to the ground there's a lovely big giant metal cockerel. And here are some other interesting facts about the town. They had been an Act 2 team until the last 2 seasons, and they're looking to bounce back from a disappointing by their standards 8th place finish. And after the game last week we needed to get the show back on the road, and it was time for me to get my cola. But not as much through my hard work as I thought. You see, our 10 had gotten a little niggle in the Hartford game, so he was out for this week, and our 13 had pulled a hamstring. So our starting 12 moved in one, and I went from not being able to get on the bench to starting at 12. And myself and Tom, who had been playing against Colchester 2s 2 weeks before, in a game that may or may not have happened, we're still not sure, were now centre partners for the first team. So let's take you into my mind space before this game. Training had been going well and I was feeling fit, but I thought of myself as more of a 13 than a 12 because of the distributing side of things and the pressure of being a distributor in a team, as well as the fact that a lot of tackles have to be made in that channel, and that wasn't really my thing. Like, I wasn't wimping out, it's just I wasn't comfortable in my technique, if you know what I mean, which you have already seen evidence of. But I had played there before and done okay. So I was second guessing myself slightly, as well as worrying about if the combination would be right between me and Harry at 10. Because we hadn't actually played a game together until this point. We had trained in pre-season and all that, but that was with him at 12 and me at 13, and also it's a completely different ball game when you're in the high pressure environment of a game, and where your calls and decisions of when to speak, when not to speak, and what you say if you in fact do speak, have so much more of an impact. And to add on that you don't want to be stepping on someone's toes who is at 10 trying to call the shots, because if the forwards hear 2 different calls and it goes wrong, which it often will, it's a bit of a shambles, to put it lightly and politely. And as I'm writing this, I do realise that I do overthink a lot, but then I underthink a lot of stuff that I think I need to overthink about, and I feel that this sentence is kind of part of the problem. But anyway, the day comes of the game and I'm feeling nervous. I go into the dressing room and the music's blaring and everyone seems in the zone. And I don't know, even though I played in the Sutton and Epsom game, in terms of time in the changing rooms, we were late to the game, so it was sort of a get your kit and warm up kind of deal, so I didn't get the chance to get everyone's vibe or get in any sort of routine, so I just felt like a bit of a stranger in there. Not wanting to say the wrong thing to people or say anything to mess up people's rhythms, but on the way to the ground I gave myself a little bit of peace of mind. As I was walking I stumbled onto one of my favourite songs for the first time in a while. It was the Beatles' While My Guitar Gently Weeps, which I played in another video which you should watch after this. Why are you not subscribed to me yet? Why am I not the most subscribed to YouTuber in the world? I don't know. But anyway, the song sort of calmed me down and set me at ease, so I thought to myself, if I play well today, I am listening to this song every time before I'm travelling to a game. Then we go into the warm-up, I was feeling okay, we talked all that tactical stuff and said we should play to our strengths, using me as a crash ball guy and Tom as the gas man. I didn't really want to be that guy because, you know, being a crash ball 12 hurts so much, but at this point I was going to take anything I could get. And then as the warm-up was going on, I felt myself getting that sickly feeling, you know, when you get really nervous. You've probably felt this before in your life, you know, when you like send a risque text to someone or like ask the boy you like out, or something along those lines. But the point is that you're feeling that combination of excitement, melancholy and anxiety all wrapped up into one adrenaline ball, and I was feeling all of it, and then it was time for kickoff. So I thought for this game I'm going to take a different approach with it. I'm going to be a bit more analytical or critical or a bit more serious, let's say. So I hope you like the change of pace. So kickoff happens and the boys are starting at frantic pace, throwing the ball about, and I'm just running around like a headless chicken trying not to get in the way, and thank God I didn't drop this. And after that, as we move the ball around, our opposition indiscipline cost them a penalty. Tom wanted the ball, he is not happy. Max apologises in his own sort of way. We kept the ball in hand a lot when we were going against the wind, but we had the hill, and you can actually see it. There's a little gradient on the screen if you can see that. Hashtag gradient. One of their lads ran into me and I go high but managed to hold him up. Things are going well. Then twice I tried to step up at the first receiver and twice I get told to get out of there. Haven't got that trust yet. But to be fair, I might have carried myself, so maybe the right call at that time. Now this may look like I pussy out of diving on the ball, but you're right, I ran away in shame. Let's move on. I managed to get a few carries this game, and on this one I just remember hearing the guy at Sammy just saying, "Just carry now!" Who knew that that would become my mantra for better or for worse? Looking back on this, my tackle techers are so off, but to be fair, in my head, every time someone came at me I was just thinking, just get him down for God's sake, and when it happened for me it was just pure relief. We concede a penalty off screen. They're going through the phases and nothing much is going on, but then bam, their 13 just managed just to squeeze in and he goes under the post. It's 10-6 to them. After that score, we needed to respond, and we started showing signs of what we can do. A dust-up happens off-screen during a maul, yellows for both teams, and all is forgiven. They start getting some good go-forward, but we managed to turn them over, and we go wide. And then you may be wondering, what am I trying to do here? My thinking was Sam is a lot faster than me, and so I'm just going to start running immediately so I can get on his inside when he beats the first man, because I expect him to. You're welcome, Sam. But I think I start too early and managed to get in his eyesight and sort of way. And I do think if I timed it better, it's a 2-on-1 and we score, but that's how it is. But then we go wide and I'm trying to get a touch on the ball, and if not for I think a slightly early tackle if he offloads, 3 people could have scored that, including me. The forwards win a penalty for us at the scrum, which Jake converts for us. We kick the ball to them and their 13, who has already scored, almost gets past me, but I just hang on. Their 15 almost gasses me, but I get back just in time and he knocks on. I'm just hanging on. Again, I just managed to get there, but I actually shaft my centre partner by getting sucked in by their 10's dummy, throwing the ball up in the air. How lovely. But after that, there's a gap for the 15 to go through that shouldn't be there. And to add insult to injury, when I get there and actually make the tackle, the ref gives a pen against me for not rolling away. And I was fuming. Because I was trying to get out, but the guy was holding me in. And actually during the game he says to me, "Sorry bro, it was too easy not to." And I said to the ref he held me in, but the ref just says, "You just still gotta roll away." I was not a happy camper. Luckily they missed the penalty, so order was restored and I feel like justice was served. Okay, so I tried something here that really didn't work. I was supposed to throw a switch here, but I was feeling myself and thought, well, I'm going alone. And they just read it like a book, so I won't be doing that again anytime soon. Or will I? Anyway, I didn't even make the game line, so yeah, not my best carry. But we keep playing. I throw a decent pass which probably should have gone out the back, but I spot no one is defending around the ruck and get an offload in, and the boys continue to play and we get into their 22. And we manage to get over the line, but the ref calls a very harsh forward pass and another opportunity goes begging. Well, begging, but it was harsh. But not to worry, the forwards managed to win the ball back and score a driving maul, which is lovely. And then Jake converts, making it 16-10. I miss my man here, but Harry covers for me. Thanks, bud. Their fullback sizes up the task ahead of him here, realises it isn't worth it, and that's half-time. Half-time verdict, needs more big boy carries. And Dorking came out all guns blazing in the second half, and their forwards just kept on coming, and eventually they ended up scoring. It was now 17-16, and it was a big boy riposte. We needed to fight back quick. I spot again that the ruck defence is left for me to go through. We're in behind them, and I get another touch but get grounded pretty quickly. But we go through one more phase and Sam finishes off emphatically under the post. It's 23-17. Nice. Dorking spring into action once again with a quick tap, and their 10 turns on the Jets. I just managed to get him down, but they keep coming and only desperate defence keeps them from scoring again. And by this point you think I'd learned my lesson about going alone, but you were wrong! Again, I don't make the game line. But we get quick ball and we go down the wing for a wonderful score. Yay! All me. At this point the decisions are starting to go our way, the tide is turning. We go to the corner and get a good drive going. I hear one of our players call something, but our scrum half didn't hear it. I call it for myself. And try! It was a great feeling to get a try on my first start back in the first team, and you can see me and Sam talking about how I stole his call. Great moment, but the game still wasn't won, 33-17. Dorking was still dangerous as they tested us out wide, but our defence was equal to it. But this time it was us who let someone slip through our guard. I'm too late to react and they offload and score. They drop kick the conversion and it's 33-24. Game still very much on. They're running from their own 22 now, and their 13 takes me on one-on-one, and I'm able to get him down, but he makes a fair bit of ground. But luckily for us, indiscipline cost them as they go off their feet. We go to the corner and get the drive going, and we get the ball wide with some quick hands, but no luck this time. We then come in field, and Sam managed to go alone and power over the line. The try is converted, it's 40-24. I finally learned my lesson and just run straight when I'm carrying. I think the pennies drop. I can't get to a pass here and they take a quick throw and make some big boy yardage. They get it wide and their 13 takes me on again. There's a bit of crossing, but the ref says play on. I get him down with some help. A lot of help. But in the end we get away with it with some actual crossing. Weirdly I would let that go and have called the other penalty for crossing. I make a tackle assist hit, and oh boy that hurt. It may look a bit monotonous, but oh boy he caught me right in the ribs. I'm not complaining, by the way, that's fair game, but hurt like hell. But you see as these phases go on that I'm hurt. I remember hearing people like, get up Noah, get up. So I had to be a brave little soldier. Luckily the ref calls a penalty so I have time to breathe. We weather that storm and play a bit of keep ball at the end of the game to boot it out. It's now full time and it has ended 42-24. Boom! Now when the game finished I actually realised that I hadn't once got that nervous feeling that I had before the game, and instead I was just doing stuff, and that's what the game felt like. Even when I was having to rectify a mistake, I didn't have my usual feeling of pure anxiety. I was just reacting to it and coming up with a solution, and it felt good. And I thought I played well, not great, but I hadn't made a fool of myself, which was my initial worry going into this match. And I have my shower and I'm about to sneak off because I've got somewhere to be after the game, and my coach catches me and asks me where I'm going. And I say I've got to skedaddle, and he says, but you got man of the match. And I froze just for a quick second and said, oh wow. And he said, you deserve it, and who do you want the pint to go to? And I said, Sam Barnes, with no hesitation, sorry pal. And I walked off feeling for the first time in a while happy, but it was just the start.